Welcome everyone to How to Become One of the Crowd, the Clueless phenomenon. Today I'm going to talk about how to take advantage of the enemy's safety zones, and one step to getting some of the kill streaks you see other YouTubers put out. So getting into the psychology of these safety zones. In a game as frantic and overwhelming as Planetside 2, a lot of players focus their attention to one zone or one engagement, meaning that they have to have a certain trust in their surroundings and their teammates to cover their backs. However, a lot of the time, the rest of their teammates are doing the same. So, in this clip, just existing on this tower, away from the main engagement at C point, to the majority of the forces here, I shouldn't be around and therefore don't exist. I'll also note that whilst I am an infiltrator here, and that certainly helps, this is also very important to apply to the light assault class, and really any class if you manage to move into groups of enemies. Anyway, one of these biggest safety spheres is the enemy max. Using these as cover will often wield the greatest results, as long as you do not shoot the max or catch its attention. It is the greatest cover for you. The max is probably the most reassuring thing to its allies, and they trust the max most to cover their behinds. My tactic as an infiltrator is to simply go into large crowds and act casually. Larger crowds, like the max unit, also add to the reassurance and build a bigger sphere of safety. Another space which is at face value safe, but for the budding XP entrepreneur, the greatest opportunity. Once you are inevitably noticed on a tower, you can use dropping to different levels, the gravity lifts and the rim of the barricades to slink back into the shadows. Then once forgotten, become a part of the crowd again, mingle with your enemies, and dine on their perceived safety. The problem on the tower is that eventually you kill someone enough for them to cotton on, and start to notice you, and finally want to get their own back. Target delegation is also important here. Always prioritise those that notice you first, or if it is looking bad, use another clueless enemy as a shield, and you may even disrupt the one behind enough to get both. Also keep moving. Don't let them take a good look at you, and ideally keep behind or partially covered by another enemy. Also, try to keep behind them or to their side when engaging them to maximise their bewilderment. With your weapon, this really depends on the sound profile of your gun. If it is noticeably laden with your faction's sound, then a suppressor would be ideal to hide your presence. If it is ambiguous or part of the 9 system's family, you always have the option of the flash suppressor, just keep yourself off the minimap, like with the Artemis here. Finally, some camos are just ridiculously good at this, like the grayscales. I'm currently using the forest camo at the moment, nothing special, but I have been able to do similar things in the pink Varno urban forest camo. But it definitely does hamper your ability to drink from your enemy's goblet. Everything I've talked about prior then will probably work quite well if against less organised forces in random fights. However, facing organised squads and platoons or during alert play, players will often be more aware of their surroundings, or have every space watched. There is still an opening to take advantage of their perceived safety within their groups, but it will be harder to find chinks in their armour. So it's always important to bear this in mind before you dance the dance of disguise. Also, I have a video out here showing this quite well on the light assault if you are at all interested. I hope this has all helped. Joshino.